Trends. Video games and their achievements have been around since video games. Now, don't get me wrong, back on the NES there weren't achievements per se, but there were still records people wanted to beat, speedruns and whatnot. Who can beat ğSōrᴅᴇsᴛ the fastest? Can you beat it without upgrading your whip? Can you beat it without throwing any alternate weapons? Those have been around for a long time, and it was only a matter of time before they got personified in what we know as achievements, trophies, so on and so forth. These are 10 of the hardest video game achievements to get. Shout out to Kanan Lynch, who has an achievement that is be number 1 in multiplayer and worth 0 points. Go screw yourself. Number 10, Demon's Souls, the Soldier's Trophy. This trophy requires you to collect every single unique weapon and shield in the game. Most of these can only be crafted once you've already obtained a bunch of other weapons and have leveled those up to max. This can be one hell of a time sink. Now, I love Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I admittedly have not played Demon's Souls, but if it's like Dark Souls, and I'm not an idiot, that would also mean you simply can't do it on one playthrough because souls can often be made into multiple weapons, and there's a divergence point, so you'd have to play the game through again? Does that make sense? Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, you thought Dark Souls was hard before. You know, fun fact, I'm so bad at Dark Souls, I mean so good, I played through the first game without ever finding the +10 Forge upgrade because I went the wrong way through the Valley of Drakes into Blighttown. I never went to the Undercity because I didn't know it existed because I missed a single staircase. Is that an achievement? Can I get an achievement for that? Number 9. Ｇ<silence> Seriously 3.0. First, you have to reach level 100, and you have to earn every Onyx Medal. Now, reaching level 100 isn't really the issue, although that is going to take some time. It's the Onyx Medals. These f***ing medals are so ridiculous. One of them is that you have to be the last person to die in your team 3,000 times. Another one is you have to execute 100 opponents who have killed you right after you spawn. There are 65 of these medals, and they're all just as ridiculous. I can't imagine the total amount of playtime you'd have to sink into this game in order to get all 65 medals. I mean, you have to play at least right there 3,000 games. If a game lasts 10 minutes, that's 30,000 minutes, which is about 20 days, give or take, of continuous playtime. I'm aware the matches probably aren't that long, but you see what I'm saying? And that's just one of the medals. You better be getting all of the achievements at once, and every single match be the last person to die on your team. Otherwise, you're gonna have to play 3,001 times. Or more. Probably a lot more. Number 8, Final Fantasy VII Materia Overlord on Steam. This achievement requires you to master every single materia in the game. Now, I don't know what that means, but it sounds time-consuming. I've never played the game. Some of the pieces of materia can be missed, and mastering them means you have to learn every skill, some of which can also be missed. If you screw up and miss a single skill or a single materia, you can't get this achievement in this run. That sounds terrible. I've played some of the really old Final Fantasy games, and they are long games, 20-hour RPGs. I can't imagine having to just go back and do this over and over again until you get it right. And you know what? Remember the days, maybe you don't, but remember the days when you couldn't just look stuff up online? You had to look through a guide at best. At absolute best, there was a good guide to help you. There are bad guides out there too. Sonic 06 doesn't have a good guide. It can't. It's a terrible game. Man, it makes me wonder how anyone collected achievements before they could make money doing it on YouTube off the internet. Number 7, Rock Band 2, the Bladder of Steel Award. The only way to get this achievement is by beating the endless set list without pausing the game or failing a song. That's over 6 hours of music, and you have to play through the entire thing, and you can't pause, go to the bathroom, or even screw up. Yeah, if you mess up, get a bad streak of notes going, and screw up a song, you have to start all the way over, and all your work was for nothing. Video games used to be a lot harder. People complain about how hard Cuphead is. I guess you don't have to get the Bladder of Steel award, but if you see what I'm saying? Go play old ğSōrᴅᴇsᴛ, which is a great game, and then come back to me and tell me how hard Cuphead is. I love Cuphead. You stay away from me. It's also funny to think about, you ever play Rock Band or Guitar Hero? You have to itch your nose and you screw up. Could you imagine losing 6 hours of work just screwing up doing that? I hope it doesn't include downloaded songs in this achievement. That would be just horrible. That's like an extra punishment. Number 6, Mortal Kombat, My Kung Fu is Stronger. You have to get 100 victories, 100 brutalities of any kind, a babality, fatality, stage fatality, any of those work. 150 X-rays landed. X-rays not properly landed, such as knocking out a tag member, doesn't count. 10,000 pints of blood spilled, and 24 hours of game played. Oddly enough, that last one sounds like the easiest. To be honest, this sounds like one of the easier ones on the list. I'm not sure if it should be number 6, although I like Mortal Kombat, but I haven't played it in a while, so maybe this is a lot harder to get than I think. It sure sounds fun, though. I could go for some Mortal Kombat. Number 5, Mega Man 10, Mr. Perfect. The first time I read this, I thought he meant Mega Man X, but there is a Mega Man 10, which I just learned. Mega Man 10, Mr. Perfect has only one condition, and it's a simple condition in theory. Beat the game without being damaged once. Not once. Not a single time. No, you can't lose a life. That's not what we're saying here. You can't take damage once throughout the entire playthrough of your run in Mega Man 10. That has got to be nearly impossible. I can't even begin to fathom how many hours it would take. And I love Mega Man. I love Mega Man X specifically. It's one of my favorite games. How long it would take me to play Mega Man X without taking damage, and then play Mega Man 10, which I'm going to guess is probably a way worse game, without taking any damage. Yeesh. There are limits, people. Human beings have limits. Number 4, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Lasso Master. Complete Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 on Legendary, and with all of the difficulty skulls on. Now, LASO or LASO stands for Legendary with all skulls on. I don't think, fortunately, you have to beat them all in a row, and thankfully, it's not like you don't have to take damage, but it should be a really fun, really difficult time. I like Halo. Never been the hugest fan of Halo, but I like it. I can get behind it. This is really something for like someone like me who hasn't played too much Halo but really wants to get into it and have it kick my ass for a while till I get better. That's when I try to attempt this achievement. I'm not going to get the achievement because I'd rather kill myself, but I'm going to play it for a while so I can get better and then never play it again. Number 3, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter World Champion. In order to get this one, just like in Kane and Lynch, you have to climb to the number 1 spot on Games Global Multiplayer Leaderboard. That's over 1,000 hours to complete usually, so about 2 to 3 months. And let me remind you that I believe ＧŞOrᴅ had tank controls, and I used to love this game back when it was one of the only shooters that was good. It is no longer that, my friends. Trying to play this now would be like trying to navigate by the stars instead of using a map. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be awful. Realistically, you'd have to set aside 3 or so months in order to get just this achievement. But you would be the world champion at Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I'm sure that's a great pickup line at bars. You can lead with it every time. You know, I will say there is something kind of attractive to being the world's best at anything. I don't mean like in a bar situation kind of attractive. I mean, it's enticing. The fact that it's possible, the fact that maybe anyone could do it if you just sunk in enough time. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to sink in all that time, but who wouldn't want to be the world's best at something, even if it's ＧŞOrᴅ? Number 2, Dead Rising 7-Day Survivor. In order to claim this achievement, you have to survive for 7 days in Infinity Mode. It's a survival mode where your health depletes 1 block every 1 minute and 40 seconds. You can get health back without food, but once you pick up food, it doesn't respawn. Not to mention, every NPC in the game is hostile automatically and will attack on sight. For getting the achievement, you get to wear a pair of boxers, and that's it. You know, Dead Rising, a lot of fun. Kind of a hard game by itself, especially if you don't know what to do. I remember I was playing Dead Rising for the first time, and aside from my friend Brandon tipping my Xbox inside and destroying it, when I actually got to play the game, the first time the military shows up, and they show up in helicopters, and they start shooting everyone, I was so terrified. I was so scared. I hid in the safe room until I lost, because I didn't want to go out there and get shot. I didn't realize it would be so campy. I was already kind of young, so the zombies scared me a bit, but the military showing up and killing everyone, not just zombies, was such a frightening idea that I just couldn't handle it. I eventually went back and realized you can kill them pretty easily. And number 1, Cloudberry Kingdom Shenanigans. You have to complete Chapter 7. I don't know anything about Cloudberry Kingdom, so I'm going to read off the script. In order to complete Chapter 7, you have to beat level 319, which no human being has ever been able to beat on their own. The only people who have ever gotten this achievement have had to use an AI to get past this level. That's really interesting. Can you even call it acquiring the achievement if you have to use an AI to get through the level in the first place? I mean, if it's technically possible, then maybe it's just up to human error, but programming an AI or using an AI that's already out there of some kind to get an achievement for you, to me, that seems a little bit like cheating. I don't know. I don't want to call out the people who have gotten this achievement, but what if I used an AI to get Sky High back in the day? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't say that was honorable. Sky High is something you gotta earn. Well, I hope you guys guys enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please give it a like down below. And if you wanna see more content